Hello, Match Fixer. And to all of those other friends, welcome back. Big Dano. Live streaming some board games, which everyone hates. My missus even told me, why don't you stream painting? People actually like that. Thanks, my seat. No, we did a wonderful Kingdom Death playthrough, and I was this close to doing a second one. I was like, I really want to do a second one. But I thought to myself, too much of a good thing. You know, this is a huge passion of mine, Kingdom Death. So I'm going to leave it, come back to it in a few months, let everyone percolate on this stuff, give Scribe Guy a chance to update the app with all the good new stuff, and yeah, just basically chill out on the Kingdom Death, and I'll keep picking away at the painting of stuff. You know, I've got about 30 survivors that I want to paint. Yeah, I think I've got 50. I think I've got 50 survivors that are unpainted that I would like to paint. But the collection of painted ones is growing at a rate of knots as well, so that's cool. Yes, this is Kingdoms Forlorn. It's going to have a lot of similarities to Kingdom Death, which is why I was sort of like, I might give this a crack. I bought it the other week. I'll give you the timeline. So it was in the Kickstarter. And this was right after Aeon Trespass Odyssey came out. And Aeon Trespass was my game of the year for 2020, I want to say 21, maybe 22. I think Marvel Champions was 21. Kingdom Death 2020, Marvel Champions 21, Aeon Trespass 22. 23, what was 23? Maybe those timings are slightly incorrect. 24 was Primal. I can't remember what 23 was. I might have to go look up my Twitter. that was when I posted it on Twitter. I did a video for my last year. So yeah, Aeon Trespass Odyssey, absolutely frothed it. Was just, thought it was incredible. Still think it's incredible now, I should say. But this game came out on Kickstarter sort of just before that had launched. And I love the aesthetic. Really cool aesthetic. The vibe on this game is unreal. Really cool. So I wavered back and forth because I thought to myself, do I need another boss battler? I've already got Kingdom Death. I've got Aeon Trespass coming. Do I need it? And Aeon Trespass was really great. Really made me want to buy this. But then when I looked into it, I thought to myself, this is actually just like Aeon Trespass with a different skin. And I don't know if I want that. I mean, I'm okay with games that have similar DNA, but like a direct port, I didn't feel was up my alley. So I didn't buy it, and I saw some early reviews, and I read some early reviews from a couple of other people in Australia who'd purchased it and had played it, and those people whose opinions I appreciate. Wise Guy History, by the way, if you want to go check out our YouTube channel. Yeah, his reviews were really intriguing, and I felt like it was different enough from Aeon Trespass that I would like to give it a try. So I don't know if it's going to land as well as ATO did, and I don't know if it's going to land better. What I'm feeling like at the moment is it might actually fit me better than ATO, because ATO's problem, if you would call it its problem, is it's a huge story, and if you're not really into reading or story, big ask. And you know, Kingdom Death, when I play it, you know, I've read all the stories, I love them, but they're also really cleverly written in the sense that they're small, impactful moments that you just have tiny little things, and you glean all this other story information from the experiences you have throughout the hunt, the showdown, you know, hitting body parts, all this stuff. So Kingdom Death for me is the number one, and Aeon Trespass had so much story that I kind of didn't get to enjoy as much of the game as I would have liked. Maybe that's not a fair statement. I really loved it when I played it, but I can't see myself going back to it as often as I want to go back to Kingdom Death. So to bring back to this game that we're about to start playing, or learn to play, this looks a little bit more modular, a little bit less constrained by a giant story. You very much set the story that you are going to set out and play. One of ATO's biggest challenges in my book was you had these great story moments that were the main storyline, and then you would go on these little side adventures based on the area that you were in and a dice roll. And what you would tend to get was these very disjointed narratives that, unless you had a really good memory, you would sort of be like, well, hang on a second, what happened? What happened with this one again? What was this? And if you went through that one story one after another, it was awesome. But generally what you do is you did story 1 from this adventure hub, story 2 from this adventure hub, and just bounced around. And it just made for an extremely disjointed story. So this, you choose a knight, a single knight, and you follow their story arc through a variety of chapters. So it's not as disjointed, very much more singular focus, and I think that could be really cool. The art, the card art, is just awesome. So if you have a look over here, tonight's stream is just going to be like my Kingdom Death stream was. It's kind of going to be like learning how we want to set stuff up. So I don't know if I've done this well enough yet. Yeah, what's that one? Let's see if we can fix this. As I said, we're gonna try some stuff. So maybe we'll just do this a little bit. There we go. So these are my two knights that we've got at the moment. This is Fleischritter and Renholder. So yeah, Fleischritter, he's a butcher. Here's Fleischritter's model. He's just a big butcher dude. And Renholder is like a mage, and I made him pink, which is fun, because he's mostly pink with all of his card art and stuff. We also need to get 2 squires, so we'll come back to those in a second, but yeah, so we've got Renholder, I'll just bump that out of the way, that's annoying, and Fleischritter. Now, I've done some preliminary setup, but we do actually need to do a lot more setup. A lot more, I think. And so I figure we'll do that on stream. And let's figure out what we're going to do. This is the monsters we fight in the tutorial battle. Skelly bellies. Some little skeletons. They look great. So yeah. So let's go back over to this screen. Oh, why is that? That can go away. There we go. Maybe what I might do is fix this the way that it needs to be for the other shots. Copy, transform, paste, transform, boom, and then if we go over here and we go this one, transform, copy, transform. That's the battle that I've set up, which is nice of me, well done me. This one is paste, transform, and that should be good. Okay, so if I skip to this screen, hey, hey, okay. So let's read about Kingdoms Forlorn. I have done a lot of reading, but I often find that I absorb this stuff better when I'm sitting there playing. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your perspective, I normally do this off camera. So I normally like to come into a first playthrough having read lots of stuff. What about if we zoom out a bit there? Yeah. So we're going to actually just raw dog this and learn. Okay, so player setup cards, and I've also made a change. We're supposed to set up 2 knights, Fleischritter and Kara. I haven't painted Kara, so we're going to play with Renholder, but I want to play with Renholder anyway. Okay, so I do need to get these cards. So as per the last little thing, we do have the card thing, which might actually be, yeah, very badly organised. So let's fix that now. This is one of Fleischritter's cards. How cool is that? Properties, configure video. It'll look cool when I get the exposure right anyway. Okay. Alright, flash rate. Any exposure higher? Yeah. Alright, we'll leave it at that for the moment. That might be too high. So yeah, so this is the little butcher knight. Let's have some of his cards. Just like the artwork is cool. If you saw ATO, they had this very stylized little card art, which was pretty cool. But these just shit all over it. These are so funny, little guys, little flesh ritter. All right, so yeah, we need to get the Knight Pose, Knight Prowess, yes, the Knight Roll, the Food Runner, and the Cured Darkling. The Knives gear card, the Fleisch tokens, and the Knight Sheet. And we need Squire Bianca and Squire Raloff. So the Squires are something that reminds me very much of Oathsworn Into the Deepwood. So Oathsworn Into the Deepwood was a also a campaign game that I like. That these saints look awesome. So what do we need? Raloff, Squire Raloff, Mob Tier. That's him. And what's the other one's name? Squire Bianca. Yeah, in the game that you could play Oathsworn Into the Deepwood, you could have basically average versions of your main characters. And those average versions, I just need to get some little standees, acted with similar things to full characters, but didn't actually have full character stuff. So, which one's Bianca? She's got a helmet. That looks like her. We've got little standees, that's cool. And where's Raloff? There he is. Those two guys. Cool. And they deploy here and here, I think. So they're over there. Great. Now if we go to this screen, this can be Bianca, and this can be Raloff. 2 full night boards, 8 and 12 starting metal deck cards. So I think with the metal deck, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 21, 22. Okay, so we probably shouldn't have the mob tier ones in there. That's okay. I assumed they would go in, but I was incorrect. Great. Yep, as I said, this will be a bit of a learning stream. Okay, so the 4 cards we're going to take for this guy, we'll do Knight Pose, Knight Roll, Luck Step, and Conjurer of Cheap Tricks. Look at this guy's stuff. Do you think me some Conjurer of Cheap Tricks? Luck Step, that's Portals from the game Portal. He's doing a spin. And he's got a little night pose. Fun. So we'll explain what those do a little bit later on when I figure out what they do. Knives, okay, so we don't use this or this just yet. That's okay. So, we have a party leader. Our party leader is Fleischritter, and we're going to read a small tale of heroism. Sir Knight, please, Sir Knight. The lumbering figure presses through the crowd, heedless of the much shorter figure trying to catch his attention. Across his shoulder, a hefty brace of rabbits bound for the pot. Please, a child's life hangs in the balance. At this, the tall fellow's companion, a slight woman with a cascade of flame-coloured hair, that's Kara, grabs his shoulder, bringing him to a halt. The duo, the knights known as Kara and the Fleischritter, turned to face the panting, red-faced lad. Take a breath and tell us what happened. Kara, the one who flaunts herself as a wilder knight, reassures him. Beside her, the hulking Fleischritter, the butcher knight, grunts impatiently. I'm sorry, kind sirs, the boy gasps, but the guards pay me no heed, and we've no money for mercenaries. You think we work for free? The Fleischritter growls. Go easy on him, butcher, Kara chides. She nods again. Tell us what happened. We don't have all day. My sister! They've taken her! Just off the poor knight's road to Hockenheim. Cultists, all clad in red, chanting profane words from the Apocrypha. They mean to sacrifice her to the devils. I know it. Good work, little kid. The two knights share a glance. It's not the first time they've heard such a tale, nor will it be the last. But in times such as these, who else could the people turn to for aid? Who else could venture beyond the deep fog and have a hope of bringing the lass back alive? Okay, so we gained 5 gold as a party. One thing I was thinking about doing recently was buying some flash gold coins. I've got great gold coins that I use and I like their clinking in a lot of games, particularly Uvia. It has a great clinking. And I really like that. So I'm thinking I might just buy some generic ones that I can use for lots of different games. But anyway, in the meantime, we'll track our gold with this thing. We've got 5 gold. Well done. Our starting tile is S13. So I think S13 is a small tile. And I think it's this one. Wow, there is a lot of shit happening there. Yep, okay, so we'll set that up in a second. And then so the night stuff we need to do, we'll do that in a second. So our starting tile is S13. So what we do now is we look at these shapes on here. We're probably going to need to zoom in on that, don't I? Not sure. Maybe I'll have a map section here. But the map might get a lot bigger than this little area, don't I? Let's have a look at this. Let's copy this. Paste a reference of that. And we'll put that here. Yep. Okay. So we'll just put a fade, hide transition fade. So when we do that, that comes in, okay. Yeah. So this is our little map. That's going to annoy me having my hand in 2 places at once. Okay, so what we might do is we might do this, and we might turn that off. Fade. Show. And so I can do this, and then we can do that when we need to book. Okay, that's probably fine. So what do we need? So we need card 9, which is a small card. And you can tell that from the shape here. This little shape indicates that it's the small shape. So that we do face down, I guess. This one is card 12. Here. And this one is a larger card. And you can actually see that it's not this shape. This is not actually the shape. It is this gigantic shape here. So this card is card number 3. So that's like that. So that's our map that we're playing around with in this preliminary map here. I think we'll need a bigger map actually, a bigger space for the map. Man, this game is going to be hard to film. That's us there. it's going to be really hard to film. Okay, so I'm going to go to this one. Unfilmable even. Unfilmable, Deno. Okay, night statistics. I've done my peril arcs. I've done my initial night setup. Heat. So where do I find... Yeah, so there's no limit to the heat. Passion. Heat limit. Yeah. So Fleischritter's heat limit is only 3. So this goes here. And his health... I don't know what that symbol means. Refresh heat, I think. We'll have a look at that. That's our heat limit. Vigor tracks your well-being. Okay, maximum vigor. Where do we find our maximum vigor? Is that on our... here? 11, I think. So that's where we start. 11 health. And this guy's got an uninjured level of 9. Stupid mages. Silly mages. Always low health. Oh, what about our squires? Okay, so he's got a health of 10 vigor, or she has, Bianca, and a heat limit of 2. Fine. He's got a heat limit of 2, and he's also got 10 health. Okay. That's pretty good. And then their movement is 4. Their bane limit, I think, is 4. So that's good. Fleischritter. Everyone has a name. Current occupation. Night power dice. So this uses a very similar dice system to Aeon Trespass, which is cool. That should be pretty simple. This is the reason I thought I could roll with this tonight, because it's got a lot of similarities to Aeon Trespass and how it works. Okay, limit of how many technique cards you can have in hand, 4. This guy can have 6. Well, that's cool. Speed, yep, so that's speed, that symbol. That's a running foot. Yep, cool. So these cards, we have 2 sides. We use them in the D, which is the delve phase, which is when we're rocking around this map, which has gone out of focus for us. Thank you. And then we have another phase. Why are you going out of focus, you bad guy? Don't do it again. What are you doing? And then the other side of those cards is used in the clash. So that's fine. Okay, so I think I know everything about this. The Squire Metal deck. Perfect. Heat Refresh, Vigor, Heat Limit, Bane Limit, Abilities, Heroic Arc. So how does their Heroic Arc work, I wonder? We shall find out. And then when we gain this thing over here, these are clues. So we're trying to explore the territory, and we gain clues. And when you start the game, you get 1 clue of each type, I believe. So this one goes here. Ren Holder looking for the book clues. This chick looking for the hand clues. Fleischritter going for the red clues. Okay, we need to set up a whole nother sheet that I didn't prepare for. So this is called the Kingdom Sheet. This is going to be a lot of stuff, this game. The Kingdom Sheet. I used to have a pretty good setup for Aeon Trespass, but because it required so much stuff, it required a lot of like extra shelves. Okay, so I need the Kingdom of Stone. There we go. Principality of Stone. So we'll put this over here. And we'll put this one on so we can actually look at it. Okay, the Principality of Stone. So how do we use this? There's different districts. Oh my god, there's effects that you can... Noble District effect, Merchant, Port, And Craftsman District effect. Wow. That's cool. But I'm going to need a separate area for that to be placed. How am I going to film that? I'd have to go up there maybe. Alright. Interesting. Alright. Take 4 tile decks and place them face down within reach. So we need to put the following creatures on it. So we use these little tokens to put creatures on here. So we put the Ego Knight here, and put the Ironcast Dead here, and then we put little rat guys. Where are the little rat guys? These are all little monsters that you can fight. That excites me. And then Pumpkinhead Monstrosities is the last one that we're adding. They sound fun. That'll be, no. Okay, this part does not spark joy. Rat wolves, yep, there you go here. Where's me pumpkin heads? There they are, little pumpkin heads. Okay, so what do we do with those? They just spin around, do they? Okay. Okay, so that's done. Clues assigned to them. Primary clues, secondary clues, and yes, you gain a clue token. Okay, so the Kingdom and Monster setup. I think we've done all of that. Yes, all that stuff's nearby. What's 14? Oh, okay, we need to get Exploration deck. Alright, so the Exploration deck is used kind of like the way that the actual cards were used in Aeon Trespass. Which is to say that when you travel around, random stuff can happen, but in this game, it's a little bit more random. So these are the exploration cards, and the game wants us to have Rat Wolves, Panzer Pit, Marching to the Silent Drum, and Panzer Gate. So these are 4 specific cards that we're using for our exploration deck to begin with in this showdown. I don't think we use these special exploration ones, so we'll leave those. You can think of these a little bit like Kingdom Death Hunt events, if you would like. That is how I think of them. We do need the Principality of Stone Codex. Where did I put that? Fuck me, there's a lot of stuff in this game. Now we place transparent acrylic markers on the Kingdom track. I've done that. That section's actually here. So this cube, and this cube are all in place. Now stack the exploration cards in a deck in the following order. Rat Wolves, Panzer Pit, Marching to the Silent Drum, Panzer Gate. Okay, so this is my exploration deck here. I think we need those out, so I'll grab them. Hello, Plank. All right. Open the Principality of Stone Kingdom Codex on Outpost, page 6. Now we make some preparations for our adventure. Okay, let's have a look at this book I have not yet opened, so this will be exciting. The Principality of Stone. Let's look at Outpost on page 6. Hiya! Half-ruined keep outpost. All right. Watch where you are there, Renholder. Okay, so we can spend money to do this stuff. And it depends on our tier as to what we can do. So the tier is like your overall power level of your party. And it's kind of how you progress through the game. You start at mob tier. Then you go to vassal, king, devil, and dragon. Okay. So, we have 5 gold. How do we know that the scouts are 3 gold? That's what I'd like to know. Here's the Scouts Guild. This says early bird. You may hire scouting. See page 8. Oh, there we go. Local urchins cost 3 gold. Okay. So let's buy some local urchins at a cost of 3 gold and we can do some S1 recon. I don't know what that means, but very good. That's what it recommends. And then each outpost has a unique early bird. Ah, okay. Nice. I understand. Then we will also hire a mercenary guild. We'll hire the warrior mercenary for 2 gold. Okay, so you can also go to like the inn and the workshop. That's cool. And we can now do, so we can do gambling? Nice. Alright, so I just need to get the warrior card out. So he's a mercenary. You can recruit mercenaries for your thing. I don't really know what they do yet. But we're going to recruit a warrior. So here's our warrior. That's level 1. That's level 2. So, look at this little guy. So yeah, we've got the scarecrow version. Fine. Hey Clinton. That's just the same red paint painted in those areas. And then I painted over it with Blood for the Blood God from Games Workshop. I might have also added some Tamiya X23, which is another blood effect colour. And then some gloss varnish if it needed a little bit more shine. But that was it. It looks so different because the Blood for the Blood God is a much darker red. It's also glossy. So, yeah. But it's basically the same. Everything I do is how can I minimise the amount of time and effort this requires. And that Blood for the Blood God is a great product. So, I like it. Okay, I don't know what we do with this warrior. What do we do with it? Clash and delve. So we can use it to reduce health loss by up to 3 in a delve. Flip its card to the other side. Okay, so you get 2 cracks at it. Alright. Wonder where that's going to go. That is cool. I'm excited to look more into this book. We can go to the inn. How do you know how much money these things take? The mercenary deck consists of all level 1 mercenaries. Okay. Hired help. Yeah, how do we know how much mercenaries cost? There's contracts. You can get a contract to do some stuff. Cool. Do you just get to hire those dudes for free? Or no, they have a cost on the card. Of course, it's on the card. Good work, Dano. So you randomise which little mercenaries you add to the deck. Ah, cool. The mercenaries are like Argo abilities. That's helpful for me to think. They're abilities that you can trigger once in the game. Okay, so delve round 0. We shall lead forth. The fog parts before the knights, releasing them from its clammy, frigid grasp. Ahead of them, the Principality of Stone, Eisenwald, as it was once known. Now just a blighted ruin. The wind echoes through abandoned streets, releasing a low, mournful dirge that tells of the death of a once thriving nation. The knights lead their troop into the snow-choked streets of the city, heading for the location their scouts have identified, a place where red-robed figures were seen to be scurrying, the cultists. They seem to be congregating around the old Hanza Hall, once the fortress of the commercial powers in the Principality before its fall. If that is the cultists' base of operations, then that is where the prison will be held. The expedition turns a corner in the cramped alleyways, almost to the heart of the merchants' district, when the ground beneath their feet trembles, a quake shivering through the earth in the cracked cobble streets. Suddenly, a terrible groan echoes through the air, and a wall of metal surges up to the knights. A massive gate of rusting iron rises from the earth, blocking the way ahead. Its emergence feels almost vindictive, a personal insult. Kara steps forward, inspecting the iron for a weakness, but finds none. She does, however, find a large ornate lock. Too fancy to pick, too hefty to break. We need to find a key. Where could we find one? The Fleischritter asks. If anybody would have the keys to the city, it'd be the Isengard. To Isengard! The map showed an old guard tower somewhere to the northwest of here. We should start looking there. Before you will find a new objective. This is normal. New objectives can be introduced. Okay. So our objective is to seek out a stone key to get past the Panzer Gate. Okay. So take a look at your starting tile. Alright, so that little symbol number 1 is a Panzer Gate. Let's bring this one up. Boo. So this is us right here. We're on this tile. And that little lock refers to a Panzer Gate. And I have those very accessible. There it is. So that goes here. And that says that we can't get through that tile unless we find ourselves a key. Second symbol, this one represents a passage down into the Sunken Kingdom. We do not need to go into the Sunken Kingdom. That is fine. Oh no, into a sub-kingdom. The 10,000 Succulent Fears. And the last symbol is an exploration cipher. So these little numbers were in Aeon Trespass Odyssey. I'd like to have a look at Oystein's models for sure. I'm going to look at that right now. He's a great painter. How is that guy got all this stuff? All right, let me challenge your perspective. I appreciate they're magnetized, and that's great, but you can't tell me that those arms don't look absolutely bizarro. The shoulder joins, it just looks odd. It's just a byproduct of multi-part poses. You can't have an arm and the musculature working the right way when one arm's doing this and one arm's doing this. Just doesn't work. He's a great painter though. I think we gave him a medal in the last Kingdom Death painting, Discord painting thing. Okay, so if I want to read the story passages. Okay, so there might be hidden ciphers, even more hidden than that. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. So if we go back to here, Kara's little story is she gains a passion. So Kara is going to be Renholder in this fight because I haven't painted Kara. And Fleischritter is going to gain a Fleisch token, so he's going to get one of these to spend, which is for stuff that I don't know yet. Alright, Delve round 1. It's resolved in rounds, each round roughly equating to an hour in the deep fog. So in a regular game you play a fixed number of rounds which you need to fulfill your objectives. I like that. So travel. Then we go to the kingdom style. Okay, cool. And then we go to the exploration. Alright, so let's do a travel. we can only travel to a path that's connected. So we can go to S12 or S9. So the first thing we have to do is resolve the symbols found on the tile's back. So the first is time and the second is a threat. So this is the time and this is -1 threat. I don't know what that 6 fog thing is. So you gain threat when you go into bigger tiles like this one, because you're more likely to get found in a more populous location, whereas the small ones you lose threat. So I'm going to treat threat in my head as Argo hull, because if we get too much of it we die. So we spend 1 time, which happens over here. Maybe that needs to be over here. So 1 time, or maybe I do need to put the map over there on that and use my little board. That's not going to work really. And then we flip it. So we flip this and we go here to here. Nice. Is that right? No, 13. We go like this. There we go. That looks better. Cool. So 13. And when we join them together, what does this symbol up the top mean, I wonder? Oh, that's the Merchants District, isn't it? Yeah, cool. Done. Move your party marker M6 and M7. So those are mediums. Cool. So this is M6. This is M7. Very interesting. I like the different sizes. I think the original pitch for this game was that you would randomly deal it out and it would just sort of join together. And I thought that was quite a cool thing. A very modular experience. All right, and then we draw the top card of the exploration deck and we resolve its effects. And it is, oh my goodness, could it be rat wolves? It's rat wolves! No! Place this card in the active effects area, then place a generic token on a random direction on the card. If you travel in the direction with a token on it, each knight loses health, where X is 4 minus the number of tokens on this card. Then discard this card. If there are 4 tokens on this card, and if you have a threat that is higher than 6, X is 6 minus the number of tokens in this card, so that's damage, more damage if your threat's higher. Cool. Okay, so the Rat Wolves card gets placed here. And we place a generic token. I need to put these tokens in a different spot, I think. Here, on the right-hand side. So we have to run away the monsters. Won't run away from them. So we don't have a gated effect, so cool. Is there anything else happening on that card? I don't know what this symbol means. This is interesting. What does that mean? This doesn't tell me, does it? The exploration deck. No? No, it does not. I guess we'll find out when we get to that stage. There are no story events to resolve, so let's proceed straight to the next round. Alright, so start of delve round effect, the Rat Wolves card triggers. So we now place another one of these tokens at the start of the delve round, clockwise. So that's there. We're not going to do anything that Kara's abilities let us do. Actually, let's look at Renholder's abilities. Maybe he's got a delve ability that would be relevant. Divine the heavens. During deep fog traversal. No, that does not help us. Light our way before the travel step. Reveal a connected kingdom tile and mark it with a generic token as unexplored. Okay, that doesn't mean a lot of sense to me. Prismatic focus. Place one magic and one cantrip token in the night pool. What are the cantrip tokens? Cool. So yeah, this I don't really know what these do, but I'm going to do this. Prismatic focus. I assume you can do it at any time, really. These are just any time abilities. So to use that ability, we have to gain one, whatever this thing is, Bane, and then that allows us to place a magic and a cantrip in the night pool. So the night pool's over here. Wow, this game has got some complexity, that is for sure. Where are my cantrip tokens? That's not a cantrip token. What are they going to look like, I wonder? There we go. That's a cantrip. One magic, that's Renholder's specific ones. And one cantrip, I'm not sure what that is. Is that a cantrip? That'll do. I know what it's meant to be. Okay, so I do that, and then I think it goes into the ZZZ. So each of your cards has a time that it can go to. ZZZ, delay. Cards in your delay area are moved to the cooldown area when refreshed. When instructed to place a delay, okay, so this goes here in this area. Very nice. We're getting it. And some of them also have warm-up effects. Oh yeah, nice. What does this one do? Cost 1 heat when you're about to... Oh, nice. Light our way before the travel step. These are really interesting, these tactics cards. These things are cool. Technique cards, sorry. A knight must be able to pay the cost. By using the technique, you can also trigger an additional bonus called a warm-up effect denoted in the upper left corner. So we will reveal a connected kingdom tile and mark it with a generic token as unexplored. Then reveal a random medium kingdom tile and place a chosen clue on it. When you explore that tile, gain that clue. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to go over here. We're on this tile because we've moved to here. We're going to reveal this tile and we're going to place a, what is it, random clue? A chosen clue. Cool. Well, I'm going to put one of the clues that I'm after, which is a yellow one, on this tile. So this is me cheating a little bit here with Renholder doing stuff that's not supposed to happen in the tutorial. But let's do it. Look, the newly revealed M6 tile can grant us a stone key. So this is, I'll just show it. This is called Light Our Way. So it costs us a magic. So we have to spend that magic token we just put in the pool. Bang. Done. And then it goes into our cooldown, which is what that symbol means. And we also get to place a clue there. And because of that top left token, we add an opening token into our pool. So that is exciting. Cards in the delay area. And when do you cool down cards? When does that happen? When that happens, cards in your cooldown area return to your hand when they are refreshed. Cards in your delay area are moved to your cooldown area. Okay, we'll look into that. Oh, we had to do something with this thing. So let's have a look at this when we flip it over. Okay, so we gain a time. So remove a generic token, gain 1 time and 1 skull. The early bird effect of our local urchins activates now, negating the thingy damage to 0. So this goes here. We move on to this. Excellent. The tile shows a new symbol. Where does it show a new symbol? Where, I say? Oh, that... No? Oh, that one, yeah, the end one. So that's a clue. So that shows a clue token on the end. This symbol denotes a clue. Whenever you encounter a clue symbol in a kingdom tile, each knight may gain a clue token of a specific type, but only matching what? For that travel, check the direction of the party's movement. Now look at the exploration deck. Okay, so we gain a yellow. Okay, cool. And also we gain another yellow from that because we used our cool spell. So that's all good. So we've just gained 3 yellows. Excellent. Party's movement, yep, okay. Then for the kingdom tile, place M5 and S8. That symbol means we've found a point of interest. You can find the particular point of interest table on the kingdom sheet. Okay, so this is a specific point of interest called a guard statue, which is here. Gain a stone key. Wonderful. And that is over here on this section. You can see it says the specific thing that we get is called gain a stone key from a guard statue. So we can spend that key to, believe it or not, unlock this buffhead that's here. So we'll spend that to unlock that when we get there. We've got a key. Excellent. And we get that from the guard statue. Okay. We do have to add some other things, but I'm not going to worry about those because I don't think we're going that way. We want to go back down this way now. But the rat wolves are there. Point of interest in a stone key. Excellent. So we now resolve this, which is an exploration card. It's called Panzer Pit. So that's the same symbol as that. Place a single Panzer Gate token on every unlocked path leading from your current kingdom tile, excluding the path that you just came from. Well, that's a bit annoying. So those little tokens probably need to be over here, don't they? Because you're more likely to use those over here. So Panzer Gate, so we can't go that way and we can't go that way. We're cooked! And this is an exploration discard pile. Your objective has now become backtrack to S13 to the Panzer Gate and use the stone key. When you reach map tile S13 again during the story step, see 003. We moved 1, we moved 2. Yeah. We now proceed to the next delve round. So we place another rat token there. Alright, so the rat tokens are pretty annoying, I see. So the rat wolves appear on this side now. And then if you move in a direction of a token, each knight loses X minus, or X is 4 minus the number of tokens. So we're going to lose 1 health to move back to that direction. So that's fine. So we'll just track here. 1, I assume our little squires suffered as well. 1, 1. I think the map does get a lot bigger, yeah. So I don't think this current setup that I'm attempting is going to work here. We may need to look at an alternative solution for where that map's going to go. It's going to be a lot bigger than that. So, Okay. So now you travel to open the Panzer Gate, so we backtrack. Backtracking is moving on to already explored tiles. Flip the mercenary card to the other side. Oh yeah, we can use our mercenary using this ability. Reduce your damage loss by up to 3 during a delve. Okay, so we could... Yeah, let's do that on Ren Holder. So we now flip that. He doesn't suffer any damage because he's only a weak boy. He's a wizard. And that's our ability to use in the clash. Alright, if you decide to backtrack, advance time by 1, move your party marker and proceed straight to the exploration step. During a backtrack, you may move through any number of explored kingdom tiles, but you gain +1 except the first one. Okay, so we can go from here with our guard statue to backtrack here and here. It'll cost us 1 time, but it'll cost us, we're at 3 time, but it'll cost us 2 of that. No, 1 of that. Each one of those after the first. You cannot skip the travels to remain on one tile for more than 1 round. You have to constantly move. Okay, so we're there. We've made it back to that tile. So when you reach that tile, what do we have to do? S13, yeah. So you don't do any stuff. The place where the knight's progress had been stymied is once again before them, but it is no longer abandoned. Now a hulking figure lumbers through the streets. It might have been mistaken for a man if viewed from a distance, but when the duo draws close, they begin to see the wrong details. A body too large by far, towering as tall as 2 men. A bloated belly, echoing hollowly with the sloshing of something liquid yet viscous. A large, ovoid-shaped helm with 2 pinholes through which beady eyes might glare. This strange thing, this egg knight, stalks the streets looking for prey. The 2 knights can't risk fighting such a beast, much as they're tempted to. A child's life hangs in the balance, and the duo will do her no good if crushed under this giant's boot. We don't have time to wait. We can make a distraction. I don't want to make a distraction. We'll stay hidden, because this is Fleshridder's advice, and wait for the egg knight to leave. We advance time by 1. So we will advance time by 1, and we will see 005. Kara practically vibrates with impatient energy, but the calmer Fleshridder manages to keep her tense energy in check. Out in the open, the egg knight continues to prowl, lowering its rounded head to snuffle at piles of rags, poking with the long fingers of its gauntlets at discarded rubble, stalking for some unseen prey. Finally, the beast moves on, unable to find anything to satisfy its desires here. The 2 knights wait for a few moments longer just to be sure, before scurrying from hiding. Kara cannot help but look at the sky, noting how much lower the sun is. They've lost a little time. The key grinds in place with a heavy clank. Kara flings all the weight behind it, and it slowly turns into the lock, the shriek of metal sliding against it, metal ear-rending. The shriek of metal sliding against metal, ear-rending. There's another thud from within, and the sounds of the gear mechanisms turning until finally the entire gate shudders and begins to sink into a recess into the ground. The way ahead is open, and the imposing silhouette of Hanza Hall awaits. Return to the delve phase. So we have to do our story step ends, proceed to the next delve round. Alright, so this is exciting. So this one is a big one. So when we move here, the first thing we do is we gain 1 time. We gain 2 doom, or whatever that is. We gain a 4 deep fog, which I have no idea what that symbol means. And we gain 2 clues. So when we gain 2 clues, we gain a blue clue because we're coming down. Is that right? 2 clues. Gain the first clue as normal, and then draw a minor mortis card and reveal the next clue. So we draw a minor mortis card. I have those here. So that's an up. So we get a blue and a red. These are here. A blue and a red. Now can I just give those to whoever I want? Surely you can, because we're all one team, one dream. Alright, so I'll give the red over here, Flash Ritter, and the blue there. Alright, that Vision of the Graal would have been nice to draw as an actual card. Quite funny, the Vision of the Graal is the card that you draw there, and I did shuffle this, so that's funny. Alright, next flip the tile and move your party marker onto it. This time we must resolve a symbol that has a number. To resolve, we flip the top exploration card. Oh, hang on, did I forget to do one of these? I did forget to do Marching of the Silent Drum. So this must have happened when I moved here, when I backtracked. Did you have to do that when you backtracked, did you? Let's read that. When would we do that? Travel step. No. Your path just became blocked. Proceed to the next delve round. Oh yeah, you do have to do it when you backtrack. Okay, so we should have done Marching to the Silent Drum. And that is perform a rotation 1 and scavenge 2. I don't know what either of those things mean. This is exciting. Rotation. So rotation is just you move everyone around. Okay. So I don't really understand why we're doing that. But it very thematically shows that the Egg Knight has now moved out of the Merchants District and is stomping around the other way. No, he's now in the Merchants District. I see. Very good. Okay, so we rotated him like that. Cool. And now we have to build the loot deck. Find and take the 2 consumable loot cards from your gear. I gather once this is all second nature, this will be very straightforward. But I will say that I found Aeon Trespass Odyssey a lot easier to play, but only because I had Paul Grogan's playthroughs and some other playthroughs to review. This is all brand new. So okay, so we get 2 consumable gear, and those go into our consumable deck. So this is the loot deck, and this is just cards that you can gain. So I think you draw from this at the end of the fight, maybe. I'm not sure. We'll find out, I guess. There are 5 different types of loot cards. Kingdom Gear, Exhibition, Clash, Loot, or Full Clash Loot. That's nice. Okay, I understand. So you can either exchange them for cash or for the actual type of gear. Excellent. Okay, so that was that one. At the start of the next delve phase, this finishes, and so those go away, and that card goes into the discard pile. And we only have 1 card left, and it's this one, the Principality of Stone thing. So it's the Panzer Gate. If you're in the Noble District, our threat is not higher than 6, so we don't gain a curse. I don't know what a curse is, but that's scary. Panzer Gate. Choose a random direction. You just flip one of those cards from the Minor Mortis deck. Okay. And that's it. All right, so we're going to walk into the... Oh no, we have to do this thing. Yeah, so 1 plus 1, is that right? One plus 1, so the total number we get to 2. An overlooked alleyway. So that's on this card here. So yeah, this is the exploration. So anytime you see that, you go 1 plus whatever that card is flipped. Points of interest in an overlooked alleyway. Every knight gains a chosen clue. All right. 1. I've got so many clues, we're going out of fashion. The squires better get them as well. I'm going to be very unhappy. Lots of clues. Clues galore. Okay. So we go on to story step. An immense oaken door of the former trading hall clatters open, the hinges groaning as the rust fights back against the strength of the Fleischritter. The two knights stride in, catching the attention of the hall's occupants. In the centre of the large vaulted chamber, a dais of sorts has been raised, built from rubble. A large flat slab has been laid atop it, upon which the kidnapped child lies, bound. Around her, a circle of red-robed cultists chant in an ancient Anatiocan dialect. Anatiocan. One, clutching a heavy-bound tome in his hands, glares with narrowed, red, pupilled eyes. "Intruders! You will not interrupt the sacrament!" A cultist lunges for the knights, saw-edged dagger flailing wildly. The Fleischritter is the one to bear the brunt of the attack, fighting back with his bare hands. Fleischritter performs a test of fortitude. If learn to play 2 is marked, which it is, add +2 to your result. You may gain 1 heat to re-roll the die once. This is our first dice roll. So our fortitude for Fleischritter, it's 10 plus normally, but we get 8 plus because we use that other one. And we have a knight prowess card that we can use, okay? So this costs us a heat. When you're about to perform a virtue test or an adventure roll, add +2 to the result. This costs us 2 heat. All right, and do we have any fortitude to begin with? I'm sure that we will find that out when we build our characters in the proper game. That's a 3. So let's spend 1, 2, 3 heat to re-roll our thing into a 4. So I think we still fail. Oh, what? Why do you add a warm-up bonus? Oh yeah, you get to add the warm-up bonus opening 1 because he's got his card that he's using, which is that. So we're actually +6 for some reason. It says in the book here. Fleischritter's bonus to fortitude is +2. He can use his bonus, and yeah, okay, so we actually did pass. And that goes into cooldown, which is there. Success. The cultist is small and weak. For a warrior of Fleischritter's stature, overpowering him is easy. The butcher knight throws him back and the cultist stumbles, cracking his skull on the stone floor. Place a break token in the pool. Break. Nice. I like these tokens a little bit better than the Aeon Trespass ones. Alright. In the middle of the chamber, the other cultists have turned from the dais and their ritual chant takes on a new tone, a more commanding one, a summon to arms. All around the chamber, you hear the rattle of iron against iron, dozens of corpses. Until now, lying in the dark corners in silence, jolt to life, skeletons grasping swords, rising like puppets on strings. For a moment, Kara thinks that she can see the strings, blood-red strands that flow from these skeletal marionettes to the cultists. With a clatter of bone and the clang of iron, the iron-cast dead rise to answer the summons and move in against the knights. We shall proceed to a first clash. However, Kara's decided that she's tapped out and she's going to tag in the Wren holder. Good work, Kara. Okay, and we place a negative AT token. So a negative AT token will look like this thing over here. So this is the board. Very cool. Yeah, that's a negative AT token. Okay, so this is the board. So we get to do a fight now, and I do enjoy the fights in this game. So the way we set this up, I've already set this up, unsurprisingly, is Wren holder. Come back here, mate, you're here. So this is a mob fight. They never had this in ATO. So we've got little skeletons all over, as well as our two squires, this guy, Ralof, and this chick, Bianca. And we use these little things here, which is AI and signature tokens. So these get placed up here, and this is quite interesting. You activate those instead of like drawing the top card of the pile when you are facing off against these, which I think is quite interesting. For a mob anyway. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this will be a little bit easier because this is like my ATO, so I feel a lot more confident in this area. Each player should have a night board. Very good. When do you reset your cooldown cards? Does that happen all the time? Night tokens, attack dice. Let's turn your attention to the enemy. Done. 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 Take all the BP cards, 1, 2, and 3. Oh, I'm not supposed to use AI cards up there. I'm supposed to use BP cards. Okay, that's cool. I can do that. That's easy enough to change. So the BP cards, we use 2 BP2s, and then the rest of these BP1s, we have to put a lone Bone Squire. Is that right? Yep. So Bone Squire is the first guy. He's here. The rest of these are all coming away. So then we shuffle these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then are these both the same? No, 6, 7. Okay. So that's our BP cards, and then we put our AI cards down here. Yeah, and when you escalate, how does that work? Is that the same? Interesting. Take all the AI cards, place deck 1. Nice. So yeah, one of the changes to ATO is that rather than facing off against 2, 3, 4, single monsters only, you can now face off against mobs. And the way that that works is those BP cards, instead of representing body parts, they're actually the individual units that we're trying to kill, which I think is quite cool. This game is going to be really difficult to film. I cannot go that far between that and that. So maybe I need to actually move this around to up in front of me. Interesting. The advantage of doing that, Dano, is that will allow us to put the map over this side, which will work. But how are we going to do this freaking camera? That camera will turn this way. Yeah, that can work. That can work. It's a difficult thing filming board games, I have to tell you. All right, we're over here. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this camera around this way so it actually is viewing this part of the table, probably about here to here. And then I'm going to move that entire board up above, and then I'll put my other camera up there so we can actually just view the board on a second camera. Okay, that will work. I've just been asked if I'm playing touch football again next year. Absolutely. Let's go back to this. Okay, so that's all done. It's time to populate the clash board. I've done that. Yeah, let's go. Okay, so a monster has an AI activation and a signature activation. So during a mob clash, mobs activate. So do we do 2 AI cards for this? Those 2 game colours are very shiny. And shiny, it will actually do one positive thing, one negative thing. When a colour is shinier, satin finish, glossy finish, it actually reflects more light. And so it will actually make a colour look more vibrant and saturated because you're actually sort of seeing more of the pigment. But the downside of that is glossy, and so it's sort of, you obviously notice it and feel it, and it contrasts too much with the other non-glossy colours. So one of the guys commented on my videos today, and it basically said, when I painted the red, first of all, it looked really bright when it was painted, but then as it dried, it lost vibrancy. It's exactly the same, because when it's wet, it's shinier, it's reflecting more light. So, yeah. All right, so we need to put the priority target on Kara. No, Renholder. Sure, Renholder, because he gained a passion. So Renholder's our priority target. Okay, I think I'm just going to do some stuff and see what happens. So we're supposed to flip the first AI card for these guys. And here it is. It's a Rusted Slash. So how do we know which monster to activate? Do you always activate them in order? You must do. You must do. Okay, so I think we flip this token to say, yes, you've activated my guy. And so you're done. You've activated. Great. You're the Bone Squire. And so that number 1, he has to go for a target. There's 2 equally distant 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, Bianca and Renholder. So he is going to go to Renholder with his move because Renholder's the priority target. Closest knight in front, perfect. Move and attack. For each hit, lose 1. Okay, so we've got a 3+ evasion situation. So this knight, this little guy's going to go 1, 2, 3, we'll put him there. And then we get to evade just like we would in Aeon Trespass. We don't have any bonuses to our evasion at this point in time, so we just need to dodge 8s. So we roll 6, 6, 2, we take 3 damage. So for each hit, we lose 1 damage. So Renholder, 1, 2, 3. And then Renholder has to do a trauma check, and that trauma check is based on this symbol here. The traumas are actually called mortis in this thing. And so if we look at Renholder's card, he's 8 to 6 now, which is a minor trauma, and his heat limit's actually increased to 5. Don't tell me why that's the case. You did have to spend 1 heat as well. So we'll shuffle this, and we'll draw one of these, and we'll draw a positive one because I'm a legend. Faint! Place 2 opening or break tokens in the pool. Thank you very much. So we'll put 1 opening and 1 break. So they made a couple of really great changes to the token pool. And I reckon it's based off the fact that I coloured in mine. I reckon they changed their plans based on me colouring in things. So we've got 1 opening and 1 break. So we've got 3 openings and 2 breaks. Excellent. So that card is now done. After attack, gang up 3. So gang up 3 is a keyword that is explained in here, which I think is just pushing the guy around, isn't it? Done the targeting, gang up 3. Gang up is a keyword. The Ironcast dead, move up to 3 spaces, then move the targeted knight until adjacent towards another closest monster. So he's pushing her. Cool. So this guy's pushing Renholder 1, 2 to here, or 2 to here, so we'll go to here, and then he's going to move to there. So Renholder's still the boss. So that's done, the gang up's done. Flip the mob's activation token. As long as there are still activation tokens on the mob track, so it's going to perform a signature. So we're going to do this card, which is called Slash. The closest knight in front. Now this one comes on number 2. Okay. So number 2's going to go now. And he is down... Oh, he's at the top. But he can't get to her, can he? No. So the mob needs to move to its target by the closest possible path. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he has to go to our little friend Bianca. I've done it wrong. It's supposed to be Ralof, but I'm going to leave it as Bianca. Let's just learn a lesson. Okay. So this attack is 3 speed on an 8 plus. Now when a squire does a dodge, he just rolls a metal card. Squire evasion. If the total number on the attack is 5 or more, roll extras. It is not. If the total number is 7 or more. If the evasion difficulty is 11, no. Okay, so that's cool. So the squires are pretty straightforward actually. So we just flip one of these, and it is a 0. Is did I shuffle it? I'm sure I did. But he's evaded no hits. This is the crit miss. Good work, Bianca. It's because you were supposed to be Ralof. So let's look at some of the other ones. Okay, so hits evaded 1, 1, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 0, 3. Cool. 0, 0, 2. Alright, so we crit miss, which means we take the full damage, which is 3 damage. For each hit, lose 1. Now, for squires, this is Bianca, they just lose 1, 2, 3. They don't ever do mortis checks unless they get to 0, in which case they do a judition check, which is an oval draw. So that's shuffled, that's done. And now that token flips, and then it moves to the next isle. Oh no, we do gang up. Because of this. Gang up 3, okay. So the closest guy, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So he's going to go 1, 2 to there. I think that's what happens. Yes. This little token flips and it goes over here, and these will be next round. Okay, let's do some attacks. We've got some knives, and we use the knives two-handed, which is this weapon. We get to roll an extra hit dice, and these are just reds. Plus the knights themselves also roll reds. It's feeling very much like ATO, and I like it. What do we need to do to win? So if we look here, this is the Ironcast's sheet. So they're 5 plus to hit them. They've got 7 wounds. I don't know what that symbol means. 1 AI, 1 signature. Cool. So sometimes they can activate 4 times in a turn. Nice. What does that symbol mean? It's a new one. This is exciting. Yeah, this feels familiar, but these little guys, mobs, are such a very different experience that I don't want to get that wrong. I could look in the rule book for that. That probably makes more sense, actually. Let's look in the rule book for that question. Monsters, monster card. 2. That's what its 2-hit roll is, 5+. That's the number of wounds required. Exhibition starting wounds. You will add a wound to the wound stack at the start of the exhibition clash. Huh. Okay. So I don't know where we're going to put these wounds in the wound stack, but sure, let's go here. So we've done a single wound to start it off. Great, so let's go Fleisch Ritter. He's just going to move 1, 2, 3. His speed is 4, so he can move to there. Oh, we've got his other cards now, haven't we? Okay. What do these other cards do? He can gain health. Nice. He has to eat Fleisch tokens. He's got a Food Runner, which is a Rush card. So Rush is charge and attack with +2 strength. Night Roll. Ooh, Reflex. Cool, so let's use this. This is a card that should be familiar to me because it's the basic generic starting card from most of those little guys. And so we're going to swing with our knives. The knives will hit on a 5+. They don't have any bonuses to hit because of the actual weapon. No bonuses. So we're just hitting on the normal 5+. However, there are 3 openings, so we're hitting on a 2+. And this is guy number 4 that I'm hitting. We start with a critical. Come on. But we roll 1 miss, so let's... Oh, we don't get to refresh our heat. When do we do that heat refresh thing? That's interesting. I'd like to know when we do that heat refresh. Surely there's a little time tracker on the back of one of these things. A little clash round tracker. There we go. Night attack sequence. No. Not in there. So let's have a look in this one. Missed opportunities to not have things right at the back. Last page summaries. Delve round steps. Power roll, second ability window. Encounters. Encounter sequence. The positioning step. No, we don't want an encounter. We want a clash step. So I want to know when I start a monster round, resolve, end a monster round. Start of night round. Start of night round. Refresh step. Each night starts a turn with a refresh step. First, lower your heat by equal to your heat refresh rate. Nice. So you get to do that every turn? Sick. So this comes back to hand for him. This will come back to hand for him. This will go to here for him. We're in the clash now, so we do that there. And so yeah, we refresh our heat. So we're going to spend a heat on Fleisch Ritter to re-roll this 1 into a 4. And because of the opening tokens, that is definitely, most definitely a hit. So we actually whip number 4 BP card over. And let's find out who we're fighting. We are fighting the Bone at Arms. So if we do a wound, we draw AI for the furthest mob. Isn't that interesting? These guys can activate. Fail. But this is a crit chance. You may flip a chosen BP card face down. Nice. Okay, so we're going to do 3, but we only need to get 2. because there's a -1 AT token in the thing. So we roll 3 reds, and if we achieve this, we achieve a critical success. There's 2 break tokens in the pool. So we roll 1 power, and then 1 hope and 1 opportunity. So we'll convert that to a break, so that's it. Those will go, I don't know if this token goes. I'm going to assume it doesn't. And you couldn't see anything I just did there, but we had 2 breaks. Okay, so we've done a wound to this. I should look up Rush, just in case I'm wrong. Rush was an auto break. I should print out my keywords list. Rush. Move with +1 and melee reach attack with auto break 1. You must move at least 3 spaces when in effective range of your attack weapon. Perfect. So yes, that is a auto break 1, so that is added. So when the end of the night phase, what do my knives have? They have 0 abilities. When you attack, if there are no openings or break tokens in the night pool, oh, that's actually, okay, so we want to do him. These are awesome. I love these cards. G'day, Cam. Hope you're enjoying your new Kingdom Death toys. I'm trying to learn a new game and play it on stream. It's pretty fun. Yeah, I don't know if I have the money or the time for it, to be honest. So we've killed this Bone Squire. Yeah, Braille's so fun. So fun. Okay, so this goes into the wound stack. This card goes to here, this token goes to here, because we've killed that little guy. Draw AI for the furthest mob. Critically, you may flip a chosen BP card face down. So this says, while it's revealed, all knights have -1 precision. So this, I definitely need that to be more visible and more in front of me because that's too far away. So we're going to flip that down so that we're not suffering the -1 precision from all of our knights. Good work, little flesh ritter. So let's do Ralof. Let's do a squire. And we did the rush, didn't we? So this rush goes into the ZZ, which is our discard. No, that's in the delay. Okay, so that goes here into the delay section. Very good. Yeah, let's do one of the squires. Let's do Bianca. So Bianca the foolhardy squire. So let's just attack the little guy number 2 that we're standing next to. So she just rolls this. Now I have to shuffle this, don't I? Shuffle the crit miss on top again. What a joker. All right, we get... What are the chances of that? If I can do it 3 times in a row, I'm packing up for the night. No, okay. So our hit roll is a 6, which is a hit. Do we have to flip 1 for hit and then for wound? I don't know. Did you find the timer? Did you use the timer the same way I did with Braille? What a legendary experience that is. She is just a menace, an absolute menace. Yeah, so did I. I was going to go and buy a cool little hourglass, and then I thought, I'm just not going to notice when it happens. I'm too engaged in everything else that's happening. I'm not going to be looking at a little sand timer and realise when it goes off. I think the phone is the right way to go, because at least it buzzes at you and you know what's happening. So when you flip a squire card, do you... Yeah, the legendary cards were punishing. Yeah, I think someone told me I played one of them wrong, where I missed the actual start attack, and then I didn't do it because you play the start attack and then you do 3 other cards in a row. Legendary. I'm really keen to try them again actually, because I completely fucked up the red incursion thing. And I think black and red armor would be a lot more fun very early on. And I think if you had it early on, you could then go for a second set, and having 2 sets with the red cloak lets you do those crazy transpose teleport things. So I think you could actually play like the red witches, which is such an awesome mechanic. Yeah. So where are we at here? It'd be sick just teleporting around. We're trying to do a squire attack. So when a squire attacks, does it flip 1 card for hit and then 1 card for wounds? Surely it does. Squire card. The hit roll. Heroic arc and modifier, the more passion you have. Oh, that's right, we've got to raise our passion when we make an attack. Okay, so we've done that. So that means at the end of the thing we can add a break token. Plus, what's that? What's that symbol? Oh, that's pushback 1. Okay. Now we'll add an opening, I think. We'll put an opening token back in. Make it easy to hit. So when a squire... Yeah, draw 1 card, then draw another card to check if you can get enough damage. Okay, so Bianca has hit squire number 2, and we've revealed this guy. Oh, he's a tough guy, look at him. Armorhead. It's an instinct. Oh no. So draw an AI for the furthest mob is definitely happening. Okay, so we'll flip the next one of these cards to determine how much damage we do. So we do 3 power, that's nice. And we can spend a green token to add +1 to hit, which we don't need to. What are these heroic arcs for squires? How does that work? Interesting. I'll have to look that up later. Alright, so she's done a damage, but the instinct still triggers. I assume if you kill a mob, surely the instinct would still trigger. Instinct. Response. See, monster responses, page 59. 59. Do not resolve responses if you have rolled a crit chance. Very nice. Mob clash. Okay, so we do still have to resolve it. Yep, that makes sense. So the furthest little guy. So this little armor head is dead. So we draw an AI for the furthest mob. So we've done 3 wounds. AI for the furthest mob. Oh, are we supposed to escalate? Do we escalate just the same? I'm going to assume we do escalate. And we'll put 2 AI 2s in. Okay. Just like in... This is going to take me a long time to learn, I think. A bony embrace, the closest engaged knight. So this is the furthest person away, and that is going to be number 5. So number 5 is going to go to the closest engaged knight, which as you can see is Bianca, the person who just killed old mate Melonhead, number 2. So he moves to there, and then he swings with a 2 speed. So she's going to see how many hits she can evade, and she flips 0 hits evaded. So for each hit, lose 1. Swarm 1 and parasitize. So Bianca's copping a pizzling, so she loses 1, 2. And then swarm 1. Swarm 1 is a new keyword, as is parasitize. Is that how it's pronounced? Parasitize, yeah. So I'm going to need to print out the keywords page. Swarm. The attack knight loses, for each adjacent monster. Okay, so she's losing another health. And then, oh, that's awesome. That's such a cool ability. And then what's the other one called? Parasitize. If you don't have the Panzer Parasite condition card, gain it. Then place X on the Panzer Parasite. So this is a thing just like that game that I played, Aeon Trespass, Parasitize, Slimed, Subjugated. Alright, so Bianca now has a Panzer Parasite. Oh, so it just automatically hits us. Okay. That's still a pretty good turn from her. So she's gone and Fleischritter's gone. And I think she puts an opening token in the pool as well from her heroic arc. Yeah, look, check. I mean, this sort of artwork is so sick. This guy's Fleischritter's card, the little butcher knight. Look, I love that. And then even if you look at these guys, sick artwork. I like how they combo the very serious and, moody art style within these crazy little cards that are just absolute goobers. Okay, so that's the Bony Embrace. So we'll do our next little squire. I think what we want to do is get rid of some of these people that are engaged. So let's go a Ralof. So Ralof, motivate 1, nice. Oh, he's got pushback. What a cool guy. Okay, so he raises his passion to make an attack. And he's going to swing, and he uses the metal dice, the metal deck. Oh, he's got a crit chance. Come on, Ralof, you absolute mad dog and mad dog. 5, so this is the card. Okay. The Bone Squire. Alright, so that's definitely hit. Reveal the rightmost unrevealed body part. Okay, so when you flip a crit chance at the end of the action, you shuffle the deck and then you flip your next card. So Ralof, the legend, the little guy with his donkey, he's flipping, hey-ya, 2 power. We only needed 1 power. Come on. So we get a critical there. Look at a chosen BP card. That's not as exciting as I was hoping. Okay, but we can look at a chosen BP card. So this thing slides down. Let's look at this one. Actually, let's look at this level 2. Oh, while this is revealed, this guy brings dudes back. What a mad guy. Critical scavenge too. Alright, I don't think I want to hit him. He seems quite bad. Alright, and now we've got Renholder. So what's Renholder's got? Don't treat me as some conjurer of cheap tricks. It just puts a cantrip token in the pool. I don't know what he uses cantrip tokens for. What is he using them for? This is one of his spell things. So he gets his magic back. Okay, place your miniature in an empty space. So that's instead of the movement. He's just teleporting. What a sick guy you are. Okay, each of the little people has some special abilities too. If you roll a crit chance during an attack, place a magic token in the pool. Interesting. Flesh Ritter. Yeah, awesome. Alright, let's attack card number 1. I don't think we need to do anything special. He's just rolling knives as well. So yeah, let's just swing on guy number 1. We roll 2 6s, that's 2 hits. We know... Oh, and Ralof got to put a break... No, he had to put an opening and a pushback. So he didn't push back. Little Bone Squire. So we're rolling 3 reds. There's no break tokens in the pool, but we do only need 1 wound because these guys are -1 armor. So we get 2 wounds, which is enough. It's a wound, it's not a fail, so we reveal the leftmost body part card, which is this one. It's another armor guy, he's armor 4. Okay, that guy sucks. So that guy's dead, number 1 is dead. So we have, in fact, triggered 5 of 7 wounds that we require. Now, Fleischritter's passion is at 1. Renholder's passion is at 2. So Renholder remains the person. He's now going to run the heck away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just so he can't get ganged up on by these little guys. Okay, so I think that is the end of our night turn. And yeah, so we'll go on to the next AI card. So the first thing we do is we flip this and it moves down to here. And we flip this AI card and it is a Rusted Slash. And so this is number 3. Okay, yeah, this mob stuff's actually not too bad. So it's the closest knight in front. So it's going to be 1, 2 to there. And then he's going to swing number 3. 3 times. So Ralof, no, that's Bianca. She can dodge this. Oh, Bianca might die. This would be good if she dies. I want to see what happens. She's going to flip the top card of this and she evades 1 hit. But because of her Panzer Parasite, treat X dice if there are... when you're attacked by a monster, treat X dice as hits. They can't be evaded. Okay, so we get 2 hits, which means we take 1, 2. She's down to 1 life. Bianca, no! And then gang up 3. So gang up 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's it. So that little guy's done with his Rusted Slash. The next card is always the signature. So that will flip to here. And this will be person number 6 doing the signature, which is a slash. Number 6 is down here. And it is the closest knight in front as well. And as you can see, that is Fleischritter. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 to Fleischritter. Fleischritter has to dodge, evade rather. So he rolls a 3, a 5 and a 6. Yeah, Bianca, get it done. And so that's 0 evasions because we have an evasion target of 8. But Fleischritter might just flip 2 of those into rerolls. His heat limit's actually 4 now, so he'll re-roll all 3 of them because you actually get that back. Yeah, that's interesting. 8, so we've dodged 1, we take 2 hits. Fleischritter goes down to 1, 2, he goes down to 8, and that triggers a Mortis draw. So he's at a minor level, so he's going to flip a minor Mortis card, thrown off balance. Exhaust all your exhaustible gear cards. If no gear cards are exhausted, you are knocked down. So poor Fleischritter, he's knocked down. Why can't I get a encourage action happening here? Actually, the squires have Motivate 1. Is Motivate stand up? I'll look that up. I think Motivate's move a space if it's like the old Aeon Trespass rule. And if it is, that'll make my life a lot easier. Motivate. During the second ability wheel, other knights may move up to X spaces. Okay, so that's cool. So I don't think Flush Ritter's got a stand-up ability. Oh, hang on a second. He's got his tactics cards. Of course he does. It's our turn. Alright, so we need 2 wounds to win the fight. Yeah, he can gain 2 heat to stand up. That's sick. Okay, so we'll do Flush Ritter first. So in his turn, this moves to cooldown, and we replenish 3 heat. So we can spend our knight pose, a cost of 2 heat to stand up, and then we're back standing. So we can get rid of this knockdown card. That is nice. I like that a lot. I don't understand how reflex works in this. So we're going to use a... Actually, let's do one of the squires next. I want to do Renholder's teleport. No, we'll just do him. He's just going to swing on number 6. Guy number 6. Old Renholder swinging his knives. Not Renholder, Flush Ritter. Flush Ritter rolls a 6 and a 9. That's 2 glorious hits. And it's this BP card, which is a Man-at-Arms. So this overcome thing, I don't really know what that is. I think that's if you beat the target by 3 or more, beat the target AT value. So, yeah. So we need to roll 2 wounds to do this. And we're rolling 3 red dice. We get 1, 2, 3, 4. So this Man-at-Arms has been defeated. So we are going to draw an AI for the farthest mob. And that could be very bad for Bianca. But it's also very good for us because we want to see what happens when Bianca dies. So that's number 7. So number 7 draws... Oh, I've got to escalate again, don't I? I've got to look into escalating in these mob battles. I'm just going to assume that we do it in the same way as ATO, which means this will definitely be an AI2. So there you go. The AI2 is Bones of the Kingdom. Yeah, the closest engaged knight in sight is Bianca. Move and attack. And if your heat is higher than 3, her heat's not higher than 3. Gang up 3. Swarm 2. Oh, she's going to die here. But she's got a reflex. Okay. So let's do this. So the card has a reaction here. So we are going to react at that point. Bianca's going to spend 2 heat to reflex, which is going to allow her to evade. And so her evasion is going to allow her to move 1 away, a reflex I should say. So the reason that is relevant is because when this guy attacks, Swarm 2 does damage if you're adjacent to friends. So that's good. It's not a zone attack, is it? Okay. So Bianca just has to flip one of these to see how many she evades, knowing she only ever... Oh, it doesn't matter, so... Okay, she's evaded 2, which means she does suffer 1, so she goes down to 0. Bianca, no! What will happen to you? So Bianca, when you get to 0 for a squire, you actually do a judicium draw. Oh no, Bianca! So one of these cards will determine her fate, and I think it will be this one, and it is, you died! No, memento mori. Oh, Bianca. This one, you live. But she died. Not Bianca. No. We did our best. She died. That's fine. She's not one of our main heroes. She's just a filthy squire. We'll replace her at the drop of a hat. All right. Renholder. You need to get into melee range. What's your speed? You're only speed 4, Renholder. Why are you so far away? Don't be that guy. Yeah, Renholder didn't go that far away. He's actually a little bit closer. Okay, so Fleischritter is the one who attacked there. So his passion, I was going to say rage, is 2. So he's got a black dice, and we'll put an opening token in the pool. Very good. And then we're going to do Ren Holder. 1, 2, 3, 4 into that guy, and that guy is number 3. And if we do this wound successfully, we've successfully won the clash. We're going to use our warrior card. During an encounter, when you're about to attack, place a break token in the knight pool. So these are Argo abilities, so I like them a lot. Now Ren Holder gets his knight roll back, and he refreshes his heat, but he's got no heat. We can place a cantrip token in the pool. Yeah, so I think this will all be a little bit more relevant when you have cards and items that actually do stuff. This is the White Lion fight, so it's all very, very basic. Ren Holder's going to attack with his knives. There's an opening token in the pool. He rolls an 8 and an 8. That's 2 wonderful hits. So we know that it's this guy here, which is the armor head. Wrong screen, Deno, this one. So we haven't done a critical. We do have a single break token in the pool. Now Ren Holder has the ability to, you may spend a magic to refresh a card. That's cool, man. We need to get some more knight cards. 3 reds, and we need to roll 3 hits. We have a break token in the pool. 1, 2, plus a break token takes us to 3. That is a success. Those hope tokens and those grail tokens are a little bit similar for my liking, but 1, 2, 3 from the grail, 3 from the grail. So we successfully defeat that guy, and if you defeat them in Old Mate's Aeon Trespass, you don't have to do the instinct if it's the killing blow. So let's read the Learn to Play section. If you defeat the Ironcast dead, clear all tokens. Yep, okay, so that's fine. So it kind of is, yeah. So the way that it works, I'll show you a little bit because this has been good. I've enjoyed this, but every knight has a knight book. Looks like this, the Knight's Tale, and it's quite thick actually. So it's quite a thick little book. And in there, that is the story of that particular knight. And when you go out on a quest, you choose one knight to be progressing their story. The other knights will still be doing little other things called investigations, I think. But you're mostly progressing one knight's story. And then that story, there's multiple chapters. So lots and lots of stuff in here. I think you'd have to do like 6 chapters or something. What's that? Chapter 5. Cool. So each one of these chapters will unlock different gear and different stuff, as well as different ones of these tactics cards. And when you level up your knights enough, they progress from basic mob tier, which is like the crappy level, into vassal tier, king tier, devil and demon tier, or dragon tier. And that gets you new versions of your cards. You have better cooldown and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, so and then obviously level up your equipment. So all the while you're learning the story of the individual knight, rather than this sort of overwhelming, overarching grand story. And I'm sure there'll be things that tie them all together and stuff. It also, the knight stories also determines where you actually investigate. So for Flesh Ritter, for the prologue, tells you his story. And yeah, chapter 1, you can do all these things. And yeah, okay, so chapter 1 has multiple quests, that's right. Yeah, and you choose which quest you want to go for. And the quest will determine, yeah. So this is the part that I haven't looked at all, that I'm pretty keen to learn about. So, yeah, I think that'll be really interesting. Aeon Trespass's weakness, I said at the start of the video, was that you had this grandiose story, but interlocked were all these weird little other adventures that didn't really make much sense. Yeah, exactly. Mega Wanderers. That's spot on. That's exactly what they are. That's a really good way of describing it, actually. You did a much better job than I did. So, I'm keen to learn about the stories. Keen to level up into some cool gear. But the thing that will be most engaging is the battles, because if the battles aren't engaging, then I'm tapping out. Because I love playing King Death battles. Alright, once there are 7 wounds on the wound stack in total, you lose a clash when all your characters die. If any knight is dead, no. If any squire is dead, tell me the squires die, and that's it, they're done. Stat reset, yeah. All cooldowns go to your hands. Discard all your conditions. Discard 2 Bane tokens. Unexhaust gear cards. If you won a clash, perform a clash, scavenge 1 and scavenge 3. Alright, if you won, read the following paragraph. The last iron-cast shambler falls, head cloven from its shoulders by a single vicious swipe. In the aftermath, the only sound of the heavy breathing of 2 knights as the blood rush quells in their ears. The foremost of the cultists glares in rage at the duo before ordering a retreat. They offer a single hissed threat of retaliation someday before they are gone. Kara and the Fleischritter do not give chase, instead turning their attention to the dais. The girl is unconscious but alive. Strange markings have been drawn upon her flesh, glyphs that flow up her arms and legs and encircle the throat. Next to her, what looks like an ornate silver goblet. When Kara reaches out to pick it up, it crumbles to dust, its purpose unfulfilled. A faint whispered sound echoes on the air, a frustrated howl, a long-denied hunger once more refused. The two waste no time bringing the child back to the outpost where her brother waits anxiously. He joyously celebrates the safe return of his sister, thanking the duo profusely. "Oh, thank you, kind sirs. There's not many that would have done such a kindness. I'll promise to make sure all the townsfolk know of your heroism." So we mark 29 and 27 on our respective choice matrices, and we proceed to the spoils phase. We gain a sigh of the Graal. No, we don't. That's only if we lose. Proceed to the spoils phase. Okay. So, squires don't gain loot. Alright, fine. The loot deck should consist of at least 5 cards. So how do we do this scavenge? What does a scavenge do? Scavenge. Add X loot cards. If the scavenge keyword does not specify which loot card type it refers to, may you choose from Kingdom Gear, Upgrade Loot, and Consumable Gear Loot. Kingdom Scavenge, Upgrade Scavenge, Consumable Scavenge, Clash Scavenge. Okay, so at the end of this, we do what? We do a... If you won the clash, perform Clash Scavenge 1 and Scavenge 3. Okay, so I think what that means when we look at our loot cards, which are over here, is that we do a Clash Scavenge. So we get an Exhibition Clash Scavenge 1, and then we get to put the whatever we want for the rest of them. So let's just go like Kingdom Gear 3, 1, 2, 3. Sure, that seems fine. Or maybe we have to shuffle it randomly and assign them. And then how many of those do we deal, actually, when you win that spoils? Take your loot deck and place it in the middle. The loot deck consists of at least 5. Distribute the common goods between yourself. What are common? I don't know what common are. Is there a common one? No? Maybe there's a different, you add bonus stuff in there. They become the common goods. Okay. Each knight gains one chosen loot card. Okay. If there are any... Oh, interesting. Squires don't use gold. Any squire, the party leader gains it instead. When distributing common goods, each squire allows the party to exchange one additional loot card for an appropriate gear card. For example, in playing with two squires, your knight will gain two additional gear cards from that thing. Okay. So I think what that means is we get to gain some gear cards from the fight that we just got, because we have the following cards. So yeah, we get to go, okay, cool. This guy will get a kingdom gear. This guy will get a kingdom gear. This guy will get a clash gear. This guy will get a kingdom gear. But oh look, that's you and that's you. So it means we get 2 kingdom gear and 3 kingdom gear and an exhibition clash gear. So the kingdom gear roughly, I think that's what it means. That's a story card. Mob tier. Parasite bait. Firefly lantern. Wow, okay. So there's a lesser dodge. And what's this one? Extra fortitude. Nice. Parasite bait. Okay, this is cool now that I know what parasitize does. When you are about to suffer parasitize, lower X by 1 at the cost of a heat and by tapping that card, exhausting that card. I think that grave trauma, that's a grave trauma. Discard 1 armor token from anywhere. Discard the card to do that. Cool, and then we've got these little boots. Reposition 1. That's in the second ability window. You can move a space. Pretty cool. Lesser dodge. You get to add +1 to your evasion rolls. And a regional map. So I think we'll take one of each of those maybe. So that's our kingdom gear. And then that was an exhibition clash. So I think we just get skeleton gear. Maybe we get to take one skeleton dude. And then we just gain 2 gold, I think. There's a lot of gear cards, but there's probably not actually as many as I thought there would be. So I'm looking for monster gear. Merchant gear. Consumable gear. Yeah, I kind of thought there would be more gear cards. Yes, there's some gear cards. Are these got Wandering Dead gear? Monster guys? Yeah. Toad Dragon. Knight of the Fen. White Ape Troll. Pale Blood Worms. Haunts of Utrabant. First Men Warriors. Where's me skeletons? Where the fuck is my skeleton swords? I want a rusted skeleton sword to stab guys with. You shit game. Give me something for these skeletons. Deep Fog. Fool's Deck. I don't know what this is, but this looks sick. Fool's Deck. Look at these. What the hell is that? There's a whole deck of them. What the heck? Sick. Those are upgrades. Okay, we don't need that. Wandering Monster Gear. I feel like these aren't wandering monsters though. Wee Nightmare, Pumpkinhead Monstrosities, Rat Wolves. Nope, so it's not them. It's not Kingdom Gear. It's not Consumable Gear. There it is, Monster Gear. Come on, Deno. You're a pest sometimes. Ignite, no. Ironcast Dead, yes. Okay, so how many of these are there? So the issue is that there's only one... Yeah, there's 2 mob tier things. Okay, so I need to choose one. I can have an Eisenfeld Falchion. That's 3 red dice. That's pretty good. Armor Piercing 1. Power reroll Commit. Use 2 hands, it loses Commit. So Commit is you have to spend a heat to use it. Armor Piercing 1, I think, is you get Auto Break 1. Yeah, this is the stuff that I love about this game. ATO anyway. Skull Shield. Oh, we've got a defense item. Break 1. When you resolve a negative mortars card. Whew. See, it's 2. Yeah, the shield looks sick. So it's a one-handed shield. When you resolve a negative mortars card, this card gains 1 generic token, probably. And when you spend that generic token, you can reinforce, and reinforce is you can roll an extra armor die. Yes, the armor die is the grail. When you roll that, you reduce damage from the attack by the number of grails you roll. So if you're rolling 3 armor dice, you would resolve that. This will be interesting. I am not sure I'm going to play this on camera. I'm not sure. There's just so much happening that requires so many different things. When I did play Aeon Trespass Odyssey on camera, I'd played 4 full campaigns at that point, and I had a pretty good system. I knew where everything needed to go. Just was pretty straightforward for me to do it. This is not straightforward. This is the opposite of straightforward. This is very much happening that I don't really think I can follow and continue to be engaging. I talk about this a lot when I'm recording videos and streaming and stuff. Part of making good content is being interesting, right? Otherwise people just, yep, no worries, I'll just switch off. So trying to be interesting, unfortunately, is a part of this situation, and I think I mostly do okay when I'm playing something I know, but when I'm playing something I've got a lot of enthusiasm for. But yeah, this game is probably just too much for me at the moment to be able to. Because I remember when I played Aeon Trespass, I was stopping every 10 seconds to reference the thing. Okay, what do I do? Okay, what do I do? What do I do? And by the end of the first campaign, I was like, cool, I've got this game worked out now. And then you move into the second campaign, and it felt like the first campaign was just like a training run, because there was 50 million new keywords and 50 million new things to learn about. So, yeah. I thought I would try it tonight. That was my plan, to just try it and see how easy it felt to play on camera. Maybe if I got my camera angles sorted out a little bit better, it would be easier. But there's still just a lot happening. Anyway, I'm keen to play the game. Actually, that's one thing that I've established for myself, that I'm really keen to play the game. But I don't think I can film this at this point in time. So the question then becomes, what do I play next? Do I keep playing this? There's so much table space. So I have a table to the left of me, which I've got a mouse pad on, so that it's got a nice black background. And then I've got a 6x4 table that is majority taken up by this game, and I do not have enough room. Solo, it's always a challenge with solo, right? Because you have to have everything close to you and be able to see everything in front of you. So, okay, so I think that means that this guy, and when you start the campaign proper, Fly Shredder actually gains a chipped axe, and this guy gains a crude bow. So we don't need these weapons anymore. They're just like the generic starting weapons that nobody needs. Fly Shredder's got a sword, an axe, and a shield. How do you like me now? And a crude bow. Interesting. All right. Well, I'm gonna head off. I also find that once I've played the game properly, I can then read the rules and understand it a little bit better. So that is what I intend to do next. Yeah. Everyone, Bra's about to start a campaign playthrough of Kingdom Death. I'm very enthusiastic to watch it, so I highly recommend everyone tunes in. I think he's actually starting streaming of that campaign tomorrow. Tomorrow being Monday for him, maybe. For us in Australia, it's Tuesday morning. So I'm hoping it's going to sync up, that I can listen to his playthrough whilst I'm driving tomorrow morning to work. So I'm hoping that's going to line up, because I'm really keen. I think he's playing with, did he decide with Goth? He's playing Goth and Red Witch's Pariah and some other new stuff. So it should be really fun. I'm looking forward to watching someone else experience the content with which I explored recently. What's all grey? The black point. I don't really understand. All I'll say is filming, I'm telling you, the amount of shit that I've tried to figure out, like trying to get lighting right. I've got lights everywhere. This has still got a hotspot here, like a dickhead. So if I move it down, but then we don't have enough light. So I've got like multiple lights to try and make it work. Still doesn't work. And this has got a hotspot up here, even though so I can slide this down, but then you gotta move the camera. It's just not, it's fucking hard. I was using a green screen for a while. So what I've given up on the green screen, because it's like, well, I just put a card there and have it like on the black. It's fine, works okay. Yeah, you lose a little bit of the stuff. But the annoying thing is I have to turn it on and off, on, off, on, off. Whereas he can just go, here's my card, and move it away with the green screen. So I had the green screen, but it's very hard to get that to be absolutely right. Yeah. Anyway. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. People just want to watch cool stuff. I know, because that's all I want to do. I want to watch cool stuff. So I try to make stuff that I would like to watch. And most of the time, I do. And I like that. But this is going to be hard to do that. Yeah, I've seen the noise when he was doing the when he was doing his unboxing video. Every time he'd put a card off screen, it'd go all flashy and stuff. I was like, what are you doing, mate? Get rid of it. Cool. All right. I think I've actually made the call that I'm not gonna film this, at least until I've played some. I'll do some painting, I think, on stream. of some of the cool monsters, but yeah, I need to play through some of the game before I can film this, so I have a little bit better understanding of what's going on, so I don't feel as much disjointed. And so then the challenge is, well, like I want to film some stuff. So I just maybe want to pull out one of my easy games like Skytear Horde, maybe. I will indeed keep you updated on the game. I look forward to doing that, as a matter of fact, because my very preliminary thoughts are that it's going to be very good. Is it going to replace ATO? Maybe it will. I like the theme a lot more than ATO, and I like the idea of these little knights evolving over the game. I need to look up gear card things, so Renholder can have that in the boots, and he can have the map. That's it, friends. I will catch you all again. So this coming week there will be no streaming because I am down at the Guild's Inn for miniature painting, where I am doing a class and doing other stuff. So if you happen to be in Sydney this weekend and you want to see some cool painted figures, come to the Guild's Inn. It's the Crow's Nest club somewhere in Sydney. I'll be there. There'll be some sick miniatures painted. My miniatures will be there. And yeah. But after that, I'll be back the following week, probably painting some more of this game or some Kingdom Death Girls, or maybe a bust or two. So I'll catch you all again soon. Big Dad.